Hey everybody, this is Gabriel back at the Imagine Studio. Right now I have a very special guest, and that is Rory from
Cogeco.
Cogeco.
Yes, that's right.
Rory, thanks for joining me.
That's my pleasure.
How's Imagine going?
Oh, it's going great. I think it's been a bit of an eye-opener. I've never been in a group of so many people that were thinking about automation and AI. So it's nice to be around colleagues and people with a passion for the industry.
Yeah, I think that's part of the magic of Imagine, right?
I think there's a big power in the sharing of stories.
Yeah.
You know, like that's something we've done as a species forever and ever, and that we're doing this here now, trying to help each other out with the knowledge that we've got and trying to lift each other up and say that, you know, we'll get there together. And if we share our ideas and our stories, that's going to help ourselves and the industry at large.
That's awesome. No, I'm so glad that you feel that way. I feel the same way. So tell me a little bit, Rory. Tell me a little bit about automation and AI at your in your program, in your company. Where are you at right now? What's going on in your world?
Well, Cogeco's a telecom, and we have a bunch of different operations and a bunch of different offerings. In Canada, we're fairly large size. We're about the 4th largest cable operator. We own a big system here in the States as well. We're about the 8th largest cable operator in the United States as well. So in our business, we're multifaceted, but mostly consumer focused. We had a situation where we required a great deal of automation to augment what was being used as human activity. So it was humans processing orders and then relaying information about what happened with that order back to a group of, let's call them partners. There's a regime in Canada where we have to offer internet services to other companies who then resell them to customers. We have to handle all the customer setup, provisioning, and service provision, and these other companies, sales, marketing, customer management. So I've got about 60 different partners who have to put orders in, not just for new customers, but also for situations like a modem swap or a change of service package.
Right.
And every single one of those transactions previously was being done by humans and mostly just interfacing with an extremely basic portal that's a glorified Google Sheet, let's say. Mm-hmm. And we came into situations where initially that kind of was okay. We were able to flex some time from some people, but as the business grew and grew and grew, we were put into a bit of a decision point. We're mandated to make these changes in a certain amount of time. We have service level agreements with all these partners. Right. And we were facing a situation where not only were we not going to be able to meet them, but we'd be facing large fines from our regulator, like your FCC.
Sure.
We have a CRTC, and they dictate how this is all supposed to go. So we had to choose automation, and we were glad to choose automation to find that there was a way to do this. I think part of our existing problem was that we had legacy in our infrastructure that we couldn't get around.
Yeah.
Our main billing platform where all of this ends and all this information goes to, it has no ability for API connections. It had to be done this way. And the partner that we're dealing with wasn't technologically available. Their product doesn't have any abilities like what we needed. So we couldn't go through it, had to go around it. And we were able to get around it through the use of automation and be a big success with it and able to, you know, it took us a while to do it, but it seemed like it was overnight that all of a sudden we had these problems and then they just went away.
So talk to me a little bit about the impact of the automation. Like, how did you measure success?
Not only were we able to reduce like human hours, I mean, that's the obvious one. That's what everybody sees,
Sure.
that they used to do this, now they do something else more productive with their time. That's great. Big success. We saved labor against our own project anyhow. But I think what we didn't see coming was that we would somehow become the provider of preference. These partners of ours have choices. They could give that business to this person or that person. And the ability for us to turn orders around quickly and with greater precision and less back and forth, we saw that over time, we were becoming more the partner of preference. That was something we experienced through the data, but also anecdotally, where we had these partners saying like, yeah. We try to put the order in for you first, and then anything that you can't service in your area, we'll try the other guy. And that's a big shift, whereas before, our processes were weak. Let's say you're in sales. If you don't think you're going to be able to close that sale, but you might with somebody else, you'll go with somebody else. Yeah. The precision with which we were able to process these orders gave us that confidence with our partners that if they tried to sell a customer through us, that they were going to succeed and get that
so
sale.
You're a growth driver. Yeah. You're a revenue machine.
Mm-hmm. It's like the equivalent of like winning the buy button, like in like e-commerce, you know, like that's essentially what we've done by improving our process and our precision.
That's I love that. That's a great metaphor. As you're going through all of this, I mean, how did you rally the troops and actually like develop the automations?
Well, it wasn't easy. essentially, when we looked into doing it, we realized that we lacked for the internal capabilities. We had no internal expertise in the space, and that we would have to take on a partner that not only was in that space with the expertise, but had the ability to come in and learn our business and had that sort of boots on the ground mentality. I've dealt with a lot of different vendors in the past, and a lot of them are they're all friendly up until you've signed the statement of work, and then all of a sudden they're raking you over the coals for a change request here, change request there. But we didn't get that feeling from the people at Tangentia. So we entered into the agreement with them as our verified partner to do the implementation of Automation Anywhere. And we couldn't have been happier. They're a fantastic team, top to bottom. I deal a lot day to day with their frontline, and they're fantastic. There's no no. You know what I mean? You ever dealt with a vendor and they're just like, well, there's no no. There's just, okay, we're on it. And
Let's figure it out.
it's collaborative. And I think that during the development of it, we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. They took the time to learn our business, learn our language, which is really important. It really cuts down on communication when we understand and we use common terms. They took the time to understand that. We gave them unfettered access to all of our systems, and they were able to learn how they work and then be able to make sure that the process automation was configured. We're doing 11 different transaction types with 60 different partners, 6,000 orders a week, which may not sound like a ton to somebody like a FedEx or, but for Cogeco, that's a lot.
And for your customers, for that one person, they don't care about everybody else. They care about what's in front of them.
Yeah,
right?
They're like, hey,
it's important.
I ordered it today. They ship the modem. I'll have it, and it'll be activated.
We've all been there when we
48
move
hours.
or something, and we want our line.
Somebody says to you, okay, well, I'll take it, but can you get it here by 48 hours from now?
Yeah.
And any other year, I would have had to say no.
Right.
But these days, we've got it down where we're able to sort of shorten our time frames and say, yeah, as long as you can ship it, we can fix it. We'll get it there.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And to your point, Tangentia is a great partner for Automation Anywhere. What opened your eyes from the main stage keynotes? What are you thinking about? What are you going to take home with you and start unpacking?
I think that we're really working the automation hard, and we're making it work hard, but we could have it do so much more with so much less. That generative AI looked like a bridge too far to us before, but I think that with the new iterations of it, that we should be taking that next step, and it's in our best interest too. Like for instance, what we've done with the one use case we've done with it just for now, there's an abundance of re-automation we could be doing. Like there's still a lot of human activity involved, and it needn't be. These are people that could be doing something much more productive than handling errors or fallout or exceptions and things like that. There's an absolute way to re-automate that through either process mapping or I think even looking at the way that co-pilots come along, that we could be using a situation like that. I don't think we could jump straight to automation. I think that somehow with Cogeco having a human involved in the process, in that loop still, is going to be key for getting me to that next step.
Yes.
I know where I want to be,
yes,
which is much closer to full automation, but I think I'll have an easier time selling it if still there's a human involved in the loop.
I think it's important.
Another thing that I've come away with is that, I was just talking to a colleague of mine who is doing another piece of automation in another silo of the business, and that we need to start bringing these things together and start trying to draw a circle around all of our automation and saying like, hey, we don't have to each individually doing our own governance. We don't have to each be individually doing our own pieces related to that, that we should have a common core, ready, set, go, and that any partner you want to work with, any solution you want to choose, absolutely. I'm not here to be a gateway.
Right.
I'm here to be like that escalator that takes you up quickly.
Yes.
Like let's get you there faster.
Yeah.
I think everybody's got their own journey.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely true, and I think that every corporate culture is a little different. And I'm seeing some of our contemporaries like TELUS and other industries that have already taken the step.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by the talk by FedEx, very impressed by the talk by TELUS as to how systematically they've approached this and how much they've been able to scale their success. Not just be able to have some success. I'm talking taking it from like the 1, 2, 100, 200 automations running, and that they're able to start turning them around in not 3 months, 4 months, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 days. And I think that seems like what you would have told someone is impossible.
Right.
But I don't think it's impossible. I know it's not impossible.
Yeah.
I've seen
You've seen it.
And I think that type of, for lack of a better word, evangelism makes sense, that you can say, you don't need faith, I have proof.
Exactly.
So come along and believe this. And why aren't we doing it more?
Well, I'll tell you what, I believe your enthusiasm, and I believe that you're going to make some giant strides. So
Hope to.
I also just want to thank you for making some time.
That's my pleasure.
And I look forward to checking in with you on your journey and see
You might see me again next year with a big success story.
I
You
can't
never
wait to
know.
see you on
Wouldn't
the
that
main
be fun,
stage.
eh?
Yeah.
Big success, main stage. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, all
Thanks
right.
a lot,
You called
Rory.
it. All right, sounds good.
Neil, right here.